Stand by for the Monday morning Storyland March.
This is a WAFB 9 News special. Remembering Buckskin Bill.
Hello, friends. I'm Donna Britt.
Good evening to you. I'm Greg Merriweather. South Louisiana has lost a legend, our beloved Buckskin Bill.
Over the next half hour, we want to look back at his life. We want to share some of your favorite memories of Buckskin and his legendary children's program.
You know, Donna, I think President Reagan said it best in this letter to Buckskin Bill. He writes in part, "Like the good teacher you are, you know your greatest monument lies in the memories of the thousands of lives of children you've touched." Well, from the Monday morning march to Hully Gully, how many, to the Little Rascals, the memories are many.
My name is Buckskin Bill Black. The name of this television program is Storyland.
Buckskin Bill. He had a part in raising a lot of South Louisiana, right there from his cozy little Storyland cabin at WAFB. At first, the fairly brand new television station thought they perhaps needed a magic show, as a 25-year-old Bill Black could do a few magic tricks. Either way, having worked his way through college as a rodeo clown, he was the perfect choice for a new children's program. And eventually, station management decided on a show about a frontiersman, and Buckskin Bill was born.
Good morning, boys and girls. I'm just about ready. I was just getting the Indian blanket all ready to put on the stump this morning.
Storyland debuted August 15th, 1955, some 62 years ago.
Good morning, boys and girls. It's time now for Monday Morning Storyland. And now let's visit the Storyland cabin and Buckskin Bill.
There's the marching hat, and here's our marching baton. Then we put on our Storyland smile, and we say, "Stand by for the Monday morning Storyland March!"
So many of you grabbed what you could, which usually included a towel and a broomstick, and marched along every Monday. The music for the Monday Morning March was from the Spirit of Freedom March, and Buckskin says it came about because he didn't always like what he heard around the office.
Monday morning, I hate Mondays. Blue Monday, I'll be glad when Monday's over, la-da-da-da. So I was trying to use this as an example of how we often create our own moods and the situational context in which we live our lives.
In a 2003 interview, Buckskin Bill recalled the time when he thought the Monday Morning March had perhaps run its course.
So we did something else. And about 6 minutes later, I look up and the switchboard operator is standing by the camera. It was a one-camera show. Patting her foot, literally. So I broke for a break and she said, "I don't care what you do on this television program. We have blown the switchboard." Said, "You do the Monday Morning March. Mothers are calling, their children are crying, people are upset. Do the Monday Morning March." I said, "Yes, ma'am." When he came back on, I said, "I made a mistake and changed my mind. Let's do the Monday Morning March." And we did, and did, and did every Monday morning that Storyland was ever on.
As you know, Buckskin had plenty of helpers around his cabin, especially when it came down to the business of the day.
Good morning, boys and girls. It's 8:30 and time for a visit to Buckskin Bill's Storyland cabin. So now let's open the cabin doors and see what Buckskin Bill is doing today.
And here's from Sharonton, Louisiana, on some pictures. Dear Buckskin Bill, we just moved here. It's capital T, U.
Perhaps one of his most famous sidekicks, Senor Puppet. As the story goes, Buckskin's fellow co-worker and WAFB legend Sid Crocker decided to surprise Buckskin live on the air with a voice for Senor Puppet. The two would never rehearse or use a script. It was all just ad-libbed.
Puppet in all the world.
Oh,
Nice
this
to
is
feel.
silly. A senior puppet. This is ridiculous. We can't have a senior puppet.
We can't.
And you at home were, of course, the real sidekick, as the camera, with a ever so slight shake, would help you answer Buckskin's questions, yes or no.
You know what we always do first on a Monday morning, don't you? Sure. Do we always read a story first on Monday morning?
At one point, Buckskin Bill was as popular as any celebrity or politician in Louisiana. He was a headliner at all kinds of parades. That fame traveled with Bill Black even as he taught at LSU. One of our viewers shared with us that she remembered hearing college kids in the quad whispering, "Hey, there goes Buckskin." His larger-than-life personality had as big an impact off the screen as it did on. But behind all the fun, Bill Black made sure you were learning things. And sometimes you didn't even know it.
Listen. Hully Gully. How many?
Hully Gully is a game in which you make a sound. This is a sound game. Gross sounds are very important. Children become aware in the spatial relations. Spatial relations means the things around us.
For 35 years, Buckskin Bill made you feel special, even make you get up and dance. Even if your big brother or big sister is watching, they were probably marching too. The right combination of simple and sweet. And while, of course, the Storyland cabin was nowhere near big enough to fit all of you, somehow, some way, Buckskin Bill made sure each one of you had a seat inside.
Oh, a beautiful way of displaying all his programs and his strengths and the way he touched. Now, Greg talked about his contributions, but one in particular I want us to talk about, and that's Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo.
Just wait till you see what we found tucked away in our WAFB archives. Matt Williams.
Taking a drive around Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo today, it was chilly, but that wasn't the only thing in the air. You knew you were driving through the house that Buckskin built. Yes, the city powers had already decided to build a zoo back then, but Bill Black was the bullhorn.
Boys and girls, Baton Rouge needs a zoo.
He was the one rallying the community. He was the one telling them, we can't have a zoo without an elephant. There's still a plaque commemorating that at the zoo, the Penny Drive, and everybody wanted to be a part of it back in 1969.
And I remember joking with him that I said, if we ever did this again, we couldn't have a penny drive. I said, you know, we need to have a Franklin drive because the cost has gone up considerably. We're going to need $100 bills. And he laughed at that, realizing, yeah, times really had changed.
Yes, times have certainly changed. Phil Frost is the director of the zoo now. He remembers Buckskin coming to the zoo in his later years. Even then, he was the star.
And when he would come out here, I don't care if it was a governor, a senator, a congressman, a basketball star, a football star, entertainment figure that came out to the zoo. None of them could rival Bill Black and Buckskin Bill. He had a rock star quality when he came out here. People wanted to be close to him. They wanted to talk with him. They wanted to have their picture made with him. And to me, that's priceless.
Priceless is a great word to describe the memories everyone seems to be sharing right now. In fact, come with me.
Folks, welcome to the WAFB studios, a little behind the scenes. Of course, the studio has changed a little bit since Buckskin Bill were here, but if he were here, this is exactly where he'd be standing. This is where he stood doing the Buckskin Bill show. I'm actually standing in pretty good footsteps. Seemed the perfect place to show you this. Come here, look what we found. Want to walk through memory lane with me? Check this out. The elephants. Look at this. Look at this scrapbook of incredible memories, and look at the letters written to Buckskin Bill from kids in the area and parents as well. I want to read you one in particular. Check this one out. 8th Ward School, Clinton, Louisiana. Gentlemen, enclosed is a money order for $3.20 to help with the purchase of an elephant for the Baton Rouge Zoo. We, the members of the 6th grade class, hope to visit the zoo in the future to see the wonderful elephant. Very truly yours, 6th grade A class members. So, did it work? We know it worked. One more thing to show you. Check this out as we keep going through. Oh, memory lane. See that? Cashier's check. Penny the elephant, Bill Black. $6,200, elephant times 2.
Penny 1 and Penny 2. He did it. Along with the love of a community, he did it. Buckskin Bill turned Baton Rouge into a zoo town and made sure the capital city had the star attractions she deserved. And they were loved, much like him. Buckskin didn't just make the zoo better, he made all the people who watched him a little bit better as well.
The thing that he did more than anything else is he said, when we all come together and when we work together, great things can happen.
And boy, was he right. Buckskin Bill, thank you.
Thank you indeed. Matt also found this letter from a kid. It's dated in 1969. It says, I'm writing you this letter to ask that you use the leftover money from the Elephant Walk to buy some new cartoons. I've seen the same ones 4 or 5 times each.
Well, he would run the Rascals for their lessons that they taught. You know, he would defend that, I'm sure. Hey, if you are over, let's say, 40 or so, and you've lived in Baton Rouge your whole life, you certainly know Buckskin. Our Lauren Westbrook spent the day in the community gathering more of your memories.
Every memory shared about Buckskin Bill seems to involve a smile and a lesson. Viewers were eager to share their stories, calling in during 9 News This Morning.
He was that man every day that smiled at us and told us we could be better than we were. He was that adult that always read that storybook to us, and he was the one that made us think out of the box at a very early age.
He changed my life. Like I was a kid, moved from New Orleans, and I came to Baton Rouge, and I get to watch Buckskin Bill if I went to school to a new city. I really enjoyed every moment of him teaching me something.
The news of the TV icon's passing buzzed through cafes and barbershops today.
Had a Monday morning march with the baton, and yeah, I remember the whole thing.
I remember that it was in black and white, and that he wore the little tassels, clean cut guy, you know, had all the little kids around him.
He was a happy person, yeah. It always was fun. That's what the show was about, education and fun.
We've received hundreds of emails and Facebook posts about that fun he talks about. And wow, some of your stories.
This is me, that's my brother.
We followed up on one from Jeff Causey in Watson. His family's shared love for Buckskin's program and for animals would actually lead to them raising a lion cub and donating it to the new zoo in Baton Rouge. Meeting his role model at a parade was one of the highlights of Jeff's childhood.
He was so big, and I was so little. Just holding on to his buckskin and just looking at him. But he just reached down and gave me that big smile and said, you know, and it was just a pleasure meeting him.
So many smiles, so many lessons, passed down through generations thanks to Buckskin Bill Black.
Now, of course, many who work here at Channel 9 over the years, and some that still do, had some very close relationships with Mr. Black. Our Liz Coe talks about the impact Buckskin Bill left here at the WAFB studios.
Good morning. Our television program is live, which means just as you're watching on this Monday morning, the 22nd day of November, 1982, we're doing it, or talking it, or showing it from WAFB TV.
While many across South Louisiana lost a prominent, well-loved figure from their childhood, some of those folks right here in the Channel 9 newsroom lost a colleague, mentor, and role model.
To say Bill is an icon is really almost a cliche.
Buckskin Bill Black began his career at Channel 9 in 1955 as a camera and floor man. Soon after, he brought his vision of Buckskin Bill to life. The larger-than-life TV character set the standard for being a community leader.
You could watch him relate to the public and kind of learn what you needed to do. Because he dealt with children, and they were innocent, and he always was nice to people, you know, and I just thought that was a wonderful thing, a very good example of how to be a public person and to really care about the viewer.
It was his genuine passion for educating his young viewers in a dazzling way and connecting with them that made them fall in love with him. Some of WAFB's very own, both past and present, grew up watching their future colleague.
I'm 6, 7 years old, sitting on my parents' bed in their bedroom, watching him do the Monday morning march and standing up looking for something, a pencil, grabbing a pencil and marching around their bedroom doing the Monday morning march. You know, someone that can make someone get up and do that?
Buckskin Bill was engaging, and his charisma touched his young viewers. As we've heard earlier, one thing many think of when they think of Buckskin is his buddy, Senor Puppet.
Let's do something meaningful. What do you have to say that's meaningful? Nothing is meaningful? Mm-hmm. Would you please get off my little foot?
The original Senor Puppet was eventually gifted to current longtime Channel 9 employee Ed Elkins. He worked with Bill behind the scenes on Storyland.
Buckskin Bill, it's me, the one and only Senor Papito.
Mike Graham crossed paths with Black at Channel 9 in 1979. What he remembers most is his desire to serve.
He just wanted to serve the community. He just wanted to serve the children. That's all he wanted to do ever since I've known that man. He's a treasure, and he's going to be missed sorely. This world can't afford to lose many people like him. And the more we lose, the poorer this world becomes. And there just doesn't seem to be a wealth of people of his caliber and character stepping up to fill in the gaps.
It's clear Buckskin Bill Black left an imprint on the hearts of everyone he reached, whether it be through the TV or right here at the WAFB studios.
Now, Buckskin's legacy in Baton Rouge is more than just what you see on the screen. His love of kids took him to a new spot in the public eye in the 1990s, the East Baton Rouge School Board. Kevin Fry picks up our story during what was a time of change for our city.
How many?
After nearly 3 decades in Storyland, Buckskin Bill swapped the pioneer outfit for a suit and tie, joining the East Baton Rouge School Board.
In fact, sometimes we used to start off our meetings saying, let's do the march.
State Representative Pat Smith joined the board the same year as Bill Black, back in 1996.
I just think that he was a great person to work with. We loved teasing him about, the penny the elephant.
The 16 years that followed were nothing short of momentous, bringing a great deal of change to a parish and city divided. Fellow board member Noel Hammett remembers one of their first days on the job.
He and I were a little taken aback, as I'm sure others were, when we were called into the federal courthouse shortly after taking office and not so gently reminded that we were all guilty.
The school system was still the focus of a desegregation lawsuit, one of the longest running in the country. The board worked to overhaul the system, introducing more magnet schools and other reforms. By 2003, the case was settled. Then there was the state of the schools themselves, old and leaking.
When we got on the board, computers were issued with plastic bags to put over them when they weren't in use, in case the rain came through.
For the first time in decades, the board successfully pushed for a series of new taxes to help fix the schools and build new ones. There were some darker days as well. Baker, Central, and other districts would soon break away. But through it all, from his Storyland days to those on the school board, one guiding principle always remained true for Bill Black.
He was very compassionate about kids. He was very compassionate about what was going on in the district.
Education and educating kids to build a better world, that's what Bill was about.
You know, a new generation is learning about Buckskin Bill online. Take a look, our Facebook page. Boy, you've shared thousands and thousands of comments and memories all about how Buckskin Bill changed your life. We've got several places set up for you to share more right now on our Facebook page and WAFB.com.
Please do. And if you know someone who's missing this special, or if you'd like to see it again, we will have it posted on our website later this evening. And you can also find it on Roku or Amazon Fire. Just click on News, then choose Previous Newscasts. We're also posting a special Paul Gates did on Buckskin Black back in 2008 there on Roku and Amazon Fire.
Coming up, a look back at some of those classic episodes, but first, another reminder of just how much Buckskin Bill means to Baton Rouge. Take a look at this today. This billboard went up on I-10, remembering Buckskin Bill. We've been digging through our special archives, and honestly, we wish we would have saved everything, but we do have a few priceless old partial episodes of Buckskin's live show.
Sit back now. We're going to look back at what made Buckskin Bill that household name.
Good morning, boys and girls. It's time now for Monday Morning Storyland. The first 15 minutes brought you each Monday through Friday by delicious, refreshing Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola still only 5 cents. And now let's visit the Storyland cabin and Buckskin Bill.
Good morning, boys and girls. I'm just about ready. I was just getting the Indian blanket all ready to put on the stump this morning. I'm glad you decided to join me this Monday morning. You know what we always do first on a Monday morning, don't you? Sure. Do we always read a story first on Monday morning? Do we always make something first on Monday morning? Do we always do a march first on Monday morning? You're right. I'm going to cover up the stump here because I thought that the Storyland characters would like to march with us this morning. There we are. Now let's see. Oh yeah, the marching hat. See, every Monday morning we march in the Storyland cabin, and I put on a marching hat. Maybe you have a hat at home you like to call a marching hat.
This will be show and tell, I guess, huh? That one's an old Senor puppet. Let's see, I think a string or two there. Okay, if a puppet has strings, it is a marionette, right?
Right.
And this puppet has strings, and you notice that the puppets control. This string controls that foot. Okay. Happy birthday to Casey Kelly. Casey Kelly. Oh, your drawings. Your drawings for the 4th of July. Neat. Oh, as you would say. And I'm going to show these and remind people every day. Here's one we just received today. That's from over on Lassen Drive in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
That's great.
Some people learning about TV today. Guardian Angels are here.
Ooh.
From Brownsfield. They all have on identical T-shirts. That's always neat, I think. In the Brownsfield area, that's a daycare.
The wonderful world of make-believe. This is one of the most fun parts of Halloween because you can be anything or anybody you want to be with a little imagination and some paint and costumes or masks. Traditional favorites over the years have been cowboys and ghosts and princesses and clowns. And if you want to go the store-bought kit route, you can get the mask and the costume, and many children want to be their favorite cartoon or movie or television character.
Stand by for the Monday morning Storyland March!
We cut it off. You're no doubt saying, why? Why didn't you play the whole thing, right? But we will. Just stay with us, okay?
Yeah, grab your kids and have them up there and we can teach them a whole new thing. As we go to break, though, I want you to hear a story that brought some of our staff today to tears. It's from Buckskin Bill himself.
You're sick. We're thinking about you this very minute.
I remember one day on the Buckskin Bill show, for some reason I was in my office, and it was about 10 minutes before the show went on the air and the telephone rang. A little child's voice I could hear say, "Hi, Buckskin." I said, "Hi." Something about that child's voice. That child said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing fine. I'm getting ready to be on TV now. We're going to do the Buckskin Bill show." He said, "I won't see it today." I said, "Oh, why?" And he said, "My daddy died. I'm across the street. They didn't want me to call you, but I knew you'd want to know." He was at Ravenhorst at the wake with his father. And I said, "Yeah, gee, I'm glad you called." I said, "You suppose any of them would bring you over here? I know you don't want to celebrate or anything, but you'd certainly be welcome to come." And sure enough, they brought the lad over, and I've often thought how often we dismiss things or fluff people off or shut off a communication. And if I had shut that one off, boy, that would have been disastrous.
It has been our great pleasure to spend this half hour remembering our friend Buckskin Bill.
We'll end with the way Buckskin started.